Institutional Baptist Church in Phoenix is one of the Valley's oldest black churches. After serving nearly half a century as senior pastor, Warren Stewart has decided to retire, leaving behind a legacy of ministry and civil rights efforts here in Arizona.
And recently, I had a chance to catch up with Pastor Stewart as he reflects on his service to the community and why he says his work is done.
You and I need to rejoice in the Lord.
Yeah. What are some of the joys of being a pastor for you?
Loving God's people, being with them in all seasons of their lives, challenges as well as good seasons and times of rejoicing and celebration.
A native of Coffeyville, Kansas, Dr. Warren H. Stewart Sr. started as senior pastor at First Institutional Baptist in Phoenix in July of 1977. What do you remember about that time?
Well, I was 25 years of age, and it was my first pastorate, so I'd never been a pastor of a church before. So all of this was new. I was a neophyte. I was the new kid on the block, and I had OJT, on-the-job training.
Guided by one of his life's mottos from Proverbs 16:3. Now, almost 50 years later, Stewart leaves behind a legacy as an iconic spiritual leader and a champion for social justice.
We are obviously operating with a different set of principles.
In a historic move in 1989, Stewart led the fight to change legislation in Arizona, making Martin Luther King Jr. a paid holiday.
Even after Ronald Reagan, a very well-known Republican president, signed it into law as a federal holiday, and Arizona refused to do it. I want to go to Jordan.
Stewart has crossed the globe, preaching in 61 countries, expanding numerous ministries, and standing at the forefront of social justice movements in Arizona.
We have fought for immigration reform for years, for adequate and equal public education. The King holiday gets the most publicity, but we have fought for justice.
But some of Stewart's most cherished moments as a faith leader are from visiting the sick.
Going there to stand beside families who are going through very difficult times in their life, even when people are transitioning, they are leaving this world, to be right there and to be allowed in some of the most intimate moments in people's lives. That is so very meaningful to me.
His decision to retire came during a mission trip to Ghana in November of 2023 with his wife, Karen.
God kind of spoke to me while we were in Africa and said, look, Warren, it's okay. You don't have to prove anything to anybody else. You can prepare to retire. And I came back, I told our leaders, my work is finished.
Oh, I love
and
that.
I said in the most positive, faithful way. You have to know when your work is done. Many people stay too long in different positions, and it leads to the detriment of those that they're leading and to themselves.
While Stewart is looking forward to taking some time to rest, he says he'll continue to mentor the next generation of young faith leaders.
And so my goal is to get the Christian faith back to relationships, not religion.
Are you going to miss it? Because
oh, Lord Jesus. I mean, am I going to miss it? I mean, I try to stop crying every time I think about I'm getting ready to retire. I mean, this church has been my life for almost 50 years. And so this is a very emotional transition for all of us.
And as for what he wants his legacy to be,
I hope people will say that Pastor Stewart loved the people, loved the community, and stood for Jesus and justice. That's all I want.
and he says he's going to rest, do some traveling, and hang out with his 15 grandkids that are still quite young, and so he'll get a chance to spend more time with them.
He is such a good man. Every time I've had the pleasure of talking to him, whether it's with a microphone or without, he's just, You just feel the goodness coming out of him.
I know, and he's been a part of many of our news coverage of different social issues.
Good and bad.
Good and bad. So I told him, I said, keep your cell phone on, because we're going to be calling you, and you can't say that you have Sunday church because because you're retired.
Right, that's right. Well, great story.
Yeah,
Good
all right.
job. All right. Still ahead.